Hello, everybody. Again, I am Tawana with Gold Scholarship, and I thank you all for being here today, this evening. I like to do these calls just to give, people some ideas of, if you're not in the industry, how to get into the industry, answer some questions for you if you are in the industry and you have some questions. Not everything is a paid course. So as a part of the Leading Ladies, this is me giving back to you all. So take advantage of this hour. Anything after this, most of the people, a lot of people I see on here that have taken my training. You already know how my training is. Those of you who have not taken my training, I have a full schedule online. But we're going to go ahead and get started. So we will start with some of the box truck questions. And Ms. Valerie Miller, those of you who are coming in, please, cameras on, cameras on, cameras on. I do not like talking to these black boxes. I need to know who I'm speaking to. Your camera's on. And Miss Valerie Miller, please unmute yourself and let's talk.
Hi, thank you for taking my question. Okay,
how can I help
you? I've got the hot shot game mastered, and so now I'm venturing into box trucks. And I have, it's easy to get box truck carriers, but it's hard to find them loads. I just got them today. I have 3. And I can't seem to find anything really over the $1.25 mark. So do you have any load boards? I'm using DAT. Do you have any other load boards that you would suggest to make good money for box trucks? Like, because the carrier wants like $2 a mile. And is that unattainable? Let me know. Fill me in, please.
Okay, so let me get some information in reference to your carrier first. How old is the authority?
It's 3 years, but she had a reinstatement last month, and so everybody's treating her like.
So she's 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
She's 30 days. So if she was revoked or whatever the case may be, and she came back to the game, she's 30 days. So 3 years, it looked good and everything, but they don't look at that. They're looking at the fact that she's been here for 30 days. So 30 days coming into the game, brand spanking new and asking for $2 a mile. I'm not going to say it's not obtainable. What I'm going to say is it's difficult because people are looking at the fact that you have a brand new MC, you're requesting this large amount of money. Is $2 a mile possible? Heck yeah. I can pull up, my TMS system right now and show you what my team is doing. But you got to have some age in the game. That plays a big part of it. If, coming in saying, I got a box truck, I just got my MC on Monday, and I need $2 a mile, like right now, like today, I need $2 a mile. It sounds good. We all want it, but it's just not going to happen. So they got to have that patience. And she also understand that even though she's had her authority, or she used to have her authority for 2 years, 3 years, that means nothing right now. They're looking at her brand new. She's 30 days in the game. And that's how they're looking at her in this business. There really isn't special load boards for box truck. Everyone thinks it's like this magic load board that have all the box truck loads and somebody just sitting there holding them and passing them out. And I promise you it don't work that way. Because if it was, it'd make our life, a lot more easier. Let me mute everybody coming in. It's not, it doesn't work that way. DAT is the truck stop is still 1, 2, 3 load board. If you have access to selectors, let me just tell you, access to selectors is not granted to dispatchers. So everyone always inboxes me and asks me about how do I get on selectors? You can't get on selectors if you're Selectors is not made for dispatchers, it's made for couriers. So if you're able to get on as a courier, you have that access as a courier, then yeah, you can use selectors until it gets to the point where they notice that you're trying to book loads for multiple MCs. Because it's really only meant for you to use that board, selectors board, for just that one MC. Yeah, it's expensive. It's about $2,700 to start up. And then it's about, anywhere between $500 to $700 on a monthly basis for the load board. But at the same time, is it worth it? Yeah. But trying to get on as a dispatcher, you won't get past the little contact form that they have. Mm-hmm. In the game, the game to box trucks is patience. That's your game. That's literally, and people think I when they ask me those questions, there's no magic, there's no number that I can tell you, how much my box truck can make. There's no number. It depends on the market condition. It depends on your truck. It depends on the age of your authority. It depends on whether you're going OTR, local, or over the road. There's so many factors that goes into how much a box truck can make. but she's just gonna have to be patient. Yeah, she can get $2 a mile. She gonna get it today. I doubt it.
Okay.
But I would set my limit at $1.50 and explain to her, we'll go $1.50 up.
Okay.
Make sure you're mapping your routes, which means you're going in and putting in what city to what city. Are there any tolls on that route? Any special circumstances? Does she have to touch freight? So make sure you're doing your due diligence and getting the most that you could possibly get for your carrier for that particular load.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. Is Sam here? Please, Sam.
I am here, finally. My apologies.
Hey, Sam. So anybody who does not know, this is my special guest. This is Miss. Hey, Kitty. This is Miss Samantha Smith, logistics chick, and she is a broker. She's a freight broker. So we are going to answer some of your guys' questions in reference to that. We always see, what's the difference between a freight broker and a dispatcher? Or, we see this week, if anybody's seen, I posted kind of like my frustration rant about some things that I saw, dispatchers doing. It's like, we kind of have to like stay in our lane. We get so many people that I see that dispatchers, and they're dipping into what a broker is supposed to be doing. And they're, borderline doing illegal stuff, borderline doing the things that make brokers mad or make, couriers mad from dealing with dispatchers. Like, we got to stay in our lane. So today we're going to cover some of those things. A few in particular that, that anybody's seen me post this week is dispatchers cannot, there's no way humanly possible for you to have dedicated lanes. Like, you cannot, it's not your lane. It's almost considered double brokering. You have to let people know when you're posting loads that you are a dispatcher and that you are posting a load on behalf of a broker. Because a dispatcher, you have to have an MC to be posting loads, and dispatchers can't have authorities. So I'm going to let Sam chime in on that subject in a little bit, but just remember, when you're posting loads, try to be as transparent as possible. Because what's going to happen is you're going to get these calls from these couriers. They're thinking you're a broker because you haven't given them the information. So now, after you've given them all the information on the load, now you're going to come back and say, oh yeah, and when I book this dedicated lane from you, I want 10% of every single load. You have to be able to give them as much information as possible, but let them know, I am posting this load on behalf of a broker, or I'm working with a broker and he has the dedicated lanes. But dispatchers can't have dedicated lanes. You cannot get paid. We've seen a week, I think it was a week or so ago, I had some comments in my Slack group where it was, the shipper was paying the dispatcher and the dispatcher was paying the courier. You cannot do that. That's illegal. So you got to be able to stay in your lane. And Sam, you can step in for me on this subject and let me know, how is that different when you're dealing with dedicated lanes? The fact that, dispatchers just can't have dedicated lanes, or, they can't have these lanes advertising as their brokers.
No, you're totally right. Because what I try to tell people, when you're a broker, you're working with the shipper, that's how you're getting dedicated lanes. When you're a dispatcher, if you do have those dedicated lanes, it's because you're getting it from the broker. So, you just don't want to sit there and give off like you have all these lanes, or you have like this certain information and you really don't. For one, it's bad business. And for two, if you do have a carrier that's interested and you really don't have that lane, like, how is that going to look, right? You sitting here lying and just trying to get this carrier, to make it seem like you got dedicated lanes, you can keep them this. It's like, just be honest from the get-go. And guys, just so you know, I'm at Universal Studios. I'm so excited right now to have you play. I get so, everybody knows, like, I'm a huge Mickey fan. I'll give y'all like a little tour of my outfit later, but yeah, I mean, like, and that's one thing I just tell people, like, it's just, in this industry, you just have to be honest and truthful. If you have something that you really don't, just to try to get a carrier, don't do that. Because I mean, I promise it's going to come out in the end that you really don't have those dedicated lanes. You know what I mean? And just be honest. Hey, or you can even let them know, hey, I work with a broker that has dedicated lanes. That way, if that lane isn't available during that time that it's time to get booked, they're not looking at you all crazy. You can let them know, like I said, well, it was a broker that had them, now they don't. So this is what it is.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. So let's see. Let's take another question. When do you recommend to transition from dispatching to truck management? Lakeisha Wilson. Anybody who has just stepped in, black boxes, we do not like. Turn the cameras on. Keisha Wilson, what's up?
Hey.
Hey.
It's an honor. You know, I love y'all. Okay, so I totally agree with you. And when you say dedicated, I really cried on that. You're absolutely right. But I have done it before. I list myself as like a broker agent because that's what I am at this point in time. Could I still do it like that, Tawana?
When you say you're a broker agent, so you're working with a broker that has the name.
I'm transitioning from the dispatching to you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but it's a fine line because you know, I was in the same predicament. You know, I'm a broker agent for one thing, but then I'm a dispatcher for another thing. So it's a fine line. So you have to be sure that you're making that you know, that separation.
You cannot misrepresent, but you cannot misrepresent what you're doing because through a FMCSA legal law, you cannot misrepresent. So you have to be careful with that too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that authority can be placed out of service.
Right. I was gonna say this too, though. I'm only dispatching right now because I want to transition for my trucks.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? For the 3 trucks that me and my husband have, I kind of, you know, trying to transition. So I want to make that clear because I got people following me too, you know, but you're absolutely right. But that wasn't my question. My question was, when do you suppose that you transition from dispatching or from, because I'm having trouble. I don't teach dispatching anymore. Let me throw that out. But I'm struggling with this myself, Tawana. Like, when do you feel like, hey, we need to have that conversation? I need, you know, some my percent because I was, you know, I was dispatching 6 trucks before transitioning out. And I taught my son and daughter to just dispatch those. But they're factoring, they're taking phone calls 5, 6, like later than usual. When do you, and I'm sure this is a good question for everybody, when do you have that conversation that, hey, this is no longer 7 or 10%. I'm factoring, I'm doing your IFTAs, you know, dispatchers do a lot that, you know, we don't get credit for, period. Mm-hmm. So when do you say, hey, I'm leaning towards truck management?
In your contract, in your agreement. That's a part of being transparent. In your agreement, it needs to list, you know, what your fee schedules are, what your obligations are as a dispatcher. What are you offering? What does that percentage entail? And then if it goes out of your scope, and it also needs to list, you know, if we add this, it's an additional percentage. If I do this, it's an additional percentage. Everyone knows with me, you know, if I'm going to dispatch a box truck, it's 10%. If we're going to dispatch and invoice, it's 12%. They know it up front. My fees don't change. It's on my website. It's on my agreement because it's a part of being transparent. So that way, when you start getting into that things, they don't feel like, oh, she keep adding stuff or her prices keep changing. If you tell them up front in your agreement, and I say agreement, I know a lot of people use contracts. I use agreement. So I don't have a contract. You don't have to stay with me a certain amount of time or anything like that. But if you try to be as transparent as possible on your website and in your agreements, you won't have that problem because you can state, hey, just keep in mind, in my fee schedule, it states that if I start doing these type of services, I have to invoice you more. So when they start getting that additional cost on their invoice, they understand why, because it's already in what they signed.
Okay, thank you, T.
You're welcome. Sam, anything on that? You agree, disagree?
No, I agree 100%. I was gonna ask her, like, when she first had set up with the carrier, like, I mean, what was your agreement? I'm like you, like, I've seen it where some people start at like 5-6% just to dispatch. But then, like, if they're doing invoicing, then, you know, and honestly, you don't even have to offer all those services. You can give them choices. If I do IFTA only, it's only 7%. If I do IFTA and invoicing, you know, it's 8%. So, like you said, it's just all about what you guys discussed when you first had, you know, like you said, got into an agreement.
Absolutely. All right, Sam, this one's for you. You're breaking up, Keisha.
They're long timers. So, you know, I'm just stepped away. I love dispatching, but I'm okay.
You were breaking up at the end. All right, Sam, this one's for you. Why would a broker want your insurance certificate made out to them? From Jessica.
The insurance, from like a carrier's
I'm
point of view?
assuming she's, Jessica, where are you? I'm assuming she's meaning the carrier making the broker a certificate holder. Where's
Okay.
Jessica? Yeah, I think that's what she means.
Okay.
Why would the broker want to be a certificate holder on the carrier's insurance?
That is a great question. So if you are in the middle of a load and your insurance elapsed, say you didn't make the payment or anything like that, we actually get an email from the insurance company letting us know in that moment. If something happens where say, okay, so for example, you know how like when you have that carrier, that broker, you want to know my bond information, right? So if I don't pay you, you can go after my bond. Same thing with the carrier. If you sit there and you have products on your truck that belongs to me, you mess it up, and me, you're going back and forth regarding anything, and you're not trying to file a claim, you know, and take care of it, I can file a claim actually on your behalf since I'm a certificate holder. Not an additional insured. Be careful when you have that too. Sometimes brokers will actually be an additional insured. You don't want to have that because it costs more money, and we don't need to be an additional insured. We just need to have, because we have no interest in your truck. You see what I'm saying? We're not driving or anything like that. We just need to be a certificate holder. So like, for example, because you know, I'm a carrier too. So my insurance renews every August. I tell my agent, I tell them everyone that's a certificate holder from the previous year, I tell them just to send them all an updated insurance certificate for me. So that way, when I do go to call and book a load, I don't have to do it in that moment. They already have it on file. But yes, so that way we can file claims. Like I said, if the carrier, you know, like I said, doesn't want to participate in that, if there's a loss.
Absolutely, great question. All right, how do I find owner operators and carriers? I'm new to independent dispatcher. Jasmine Jones, come on down.
Hello.
I love this question.
How do I find owner operators and carriers? I am new to dispatching. Stop telling people you're new, girl. But go ahead, Sam, all yours.
Honestly, one of the major things I always tell people, when you are riding down the highway or riding down the street, those are carriers. Go to truck stops. You will be surprised. Okay, it's this one lady that I deal with. Her name is Shonda. She has gotten so many carriers just riding down the freeway. She'll just let them know. She's like, I just saw you riding down 70 East. They're like, oh, and she, you know, she'll like compliment it. I love your truck. Your truck was clean. I'm telling you, man, just if it's a truck driving down the freeway, those are all potential carriers. People don't even realize that. Like, you don't have to put it in a D. You know, you don't have to put out an ad. It's just any truck that you see. That's a customer right there, a potential.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely be able to same thing, you know, as you're doing that, your customers are already, if they have to get an MC or DOT number, it's public record. They're on FMCSA. FMCSA puts out a PDF every single day. You can go to their website, click on couriers, and print that list out and go down that list. I tell people all the time, don't try to keep these truck drivers on the phone. A lot of times you're not going to get the email addresses on the FMCSA. Same thing with DAT. If you're associated with DAT logo board, they have a huge platform that says locate new business partners. You go down that list and you're calling these people, you know, you let them know, hey, this is Tawana calling from Gold Star Logistics. Don't want to keep you on the phone, but if I can get your email address, I would love to send you some information in reference to my services, and then we can set up some time to talk later. That way you're respecting their time. You're not trying to keep their drivers. They don't want to talk to you right now. They want to talk to whoever, they want to drive, you know, so you're respecting their time. You grab their email address. You have that template already set. You just copy and paste. You need to be doing that to 10 to 20 couriers every single day.
Okay.
You know, one thing
and where do I get that information from?
FMCSA. And okay. if you have DAT power, you can get it under where is it? Under the little toolbox? No, not the toolbox. DAT power. It is located. Hold on, I'll show you. But yeah, but it's if you have DAT power.
Directory, I think. Sorry.
Huh?
I think it's in the directory. The search for the carrier.
It says directory at the very top. And then once you click on the directory, it says research new business partners.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then you have Indeed. You place your ads on Indeed. You have truck stops. Anybody that has anything to do with trucking, if you know a person who writes insurance claim, you partner with not insurance claim, but insurance policies. You partner with them. You know, hey, I'll send people to you for insurance. You send some people to me for dispatching. If you know anyone that, does anything with trucking, if they work at a truck lot, you build these partnerships and let people know what it is that you're doing. And then you'll refer business to them as well as you'll be doing the same. That they'll be doing the same for you. Okay.
Yep. And I go to the place where they get DOT physicals as well as to the schools. I schedule appointments. I have like 4 appointments next month with the truck driving schools, and you go into the classrooms and get a running database with all the drivers who just graduated and then people who are interested. So that's one tip.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, we have several in Jacksonville, so I will check because we do have several schools here in Jacksonville.
That's a good one. Get your marketing together. I tell people all the time, have some type of card, not necessarily a business card because it's too small and drivers can lose them. I like the bigger postcards.
Okay.
Nice and colorful, got my face on it, cute and everything. And you at the truck stop. That's what truckers are. You go to the truck stop, let people know who you are.
And another thing, like you said, like you can go to Vista Print and get like the weatherproof like cards, like with like some information, like Tawana said. Yeah, and definitely go to the truck stop, because I mean that's how we got a lot of our drivers too. Like Matt would be walking around in the truck stop and they start talking to Matt and they're so unhappy, with like their dispatcher with their trucking company. You'll be surprised. You might just caught them in a really good moment because they've been sitting there for like all weekend. So they're just ready to get away from that dispatcher. And I'm telling you, Vista Print, we did a front and back weatherproof flyer.
I got 1,000 of these for $65.
Yep, I didn't see the flyer. Yep, there you go.
Okay.
All right. Here's a good one. How do you go about being a fleet owner as a broker? Is it legal? Oh, Sam does it.
Yes, it is. So what I did, I have 2 separate authorities. This is what we always tell you, get 2 separate authorities, because it can get a little tricky. So there are some people that want to be fleet owners and they're considered asset based. That means basically, you own trucks, but you're an asset based company, but you're trying to be a freight broker. That gets a little tricky because if you call me with your MC number and I see that you're a freight broker and you have trucks, for all I know, you could be trying to double broker my load, which means that you're taking the load from me, you're trying to give it to someone else. If you're an asset-based company, I would say probably like 10, 15, 20 trucks, honestly. Like, I think that's the only way that it's worth it, because a lot of shippers won't even really like work with you directly if you don't have, a large amount of trucks. Now, so what I did, I have an MC authority number for my carrier, but then I have a different MC number for my brokerage. I kept them separate LLCs, all that good thing. So when I call, I either call for Elite Freight Services or I call for Advanced Transport. And another good thing is I always tell people I double dip. All my loads for most of my loads for my brokerage, they're on my Elite Freight Services truck. So not only am I getting my profit from my brokerage, I'm basically, giving a really good rate to my carrier side too. So that's another option that you have. And I'll tell people, if you are a broker and you're getting these loads and you have trucks, I mean, you can dispatch your own trucks if you have trucks in that area.
Absolutely. How important is it when you have those 2 MCs like that to separate them, like meaning address and everything in reference to being a courier and being a broker?
I think it's very important, because if someone is going out like to the DAT directory, if somebody's going to the RMIS, like another broker, they will sometimes pull up that information. They're like, wait, is this the broker or the trucking? I've done that several times. They're like, oh no, it's the trucking. And I'm like, are you sure? And it makes me a little nervous because like I don't know if they're taking my load and trying to double broker. That's what I'm saying. I would keep everything separate. Even when you're calling, say like on the broker side, you don't have to tell, them, oh, I have a trucking company too, or vice versa. You don't have to give more information than what's needed, because if they can't see it, then don't tell them. Because I'm telling you, they're probably going to think that you're trying to double broker their load in most cases, unfortunately.
Right. Absolutely. Good deal. All right. Miss McDonough, how did you get started in either dispatching or brokering with no experience? How you doing, Miss Lady? You're on mute. Unmute yourself.
Thanks. I'm pretty good. Thank you. So the background, my sister, she has her own authority. I am a teacher, but I'm wanting to come out of the classroom. I've been home with my daughter, so I'm wanting to get into the business. And also I'm hearing different things about insurance and having to have these things in order in place as well. So I guess I'm just a newborn, trying to just break into the entire game itself. So
Absolutely. My opinion, and again, Sam can piggyback on this. If you're brand new to the industry, I would definitely start with dispatching. Find you a dispatch course, find you some mentors in the business, research whoever's course you want to take, and find you a good course to take, and get started in dispatching. Once dispatcher is kind of like that entry level. It's going to teach you the terminology, teach you the lanes, teach you the information and things that you need. Brokering is going to be a little bit more costly. Dispatching, you could probably get started anywhere between even less than $500. You need a laptop, phone, some load boards. Brokering is you're gonna have to spend some money, So if you're coming in brand new and you want to learn it, I would start with dispatching.
okay.
And then go from there. There's no limit to say you can't be a dispatcher, courier, broker, freight forwarder, all those things. But definitely start with entry level, get your feet wet, understand what it is that you're getting yourself into, research transportation. A lot of people come into it and like, oh, I want to learn dispatching. You need to learn transportation, not just dispatching. You have to understand transportation in a whole. Okay. That's definitely my take on that. Definitely start with dispatching. And then, if you feel like, dispatching is cool, but I need to move up from there, then go for a brokerage or for even a freight agent.
Okay, so learning the dispatching, and then definitely understanding transportation, is that something that, you get the theory, but it's better with the hands-on, so you need both? Is it a class? Is there somewhere you can recommend? Is this like a YouTube course that how people put together programs and they get your money, and it's kind of like, do you have anyone that's reputable that I could do something online, or where would I go? Like, is it a workforce thing within certain areas that support people that want to get into dispatching? That would be not a waste of time, but really worth your time and effort so that you can get, into that working in the industry.
Absolutely.
Go Star Logistics.
I'm sorry?
Absolutely. I definitely say do your research. Are you in the Leading Ladies of Logistics group?
I started following so my sister, who's the carrier, she sent me this link and I joined. I think I followed. I don't know if I'm like specifically in the group. And so I reached out today, saying, could someone send me the link through Messenger? And that's how I was able to get on today.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So definitely, like I said, research, research whoever's class you're going to take. I do teach classes. I think there's a few other people on here that teach classes as well. The classes are everywhere. Just don't take anybody's class. Research the class, check the reviews, and make sure you're getting your money's worth. And then from there, if you feel like you need, more mentoring, more education, like I said, being familiar with the transportation industry is going to be a plus. So you got places like overdrive.com, you got freightways.com. Anybody that's a dispatcher that is not subscribed to Freightways or not subscribed to DAT's or OTR's newsletters, you're doing yourself a disservice, because they're going to give you a lot of the information that you need of what's going on in the transportation industry. Why are rates so low? Why are rates so high? What's going on in the industry? Those of you don't know, we're seconds away from having $2 million liability insurance. Right. So these are things like, was it passed, Sam?
I think it was.
Yeah. So, I had a dispatcher today. She's like, oh no, they're not going to do that. I'm like, oh no, it's done. Yeah. You should know that. Transportation is about to change, like for real. So that, these are things that you guys should be up on this information. So when your courier starts asking you these questions, you can't tell them, no, that's not true. Oh yeah, it's true. It's 1,000% true. It's going to be a $2 million liability requirement versus a $1 million. So this is why we want to understand transportation logistics and understand all of the politics and things that are going on. You can't just say, I'm going to take a dispatch class. I want to dispatch because I want to make a lot of money. No, it don't work like that.
Okay.
Do some research, figure out what class is good for you, what type of instructor is good for you, ask around, and just, like I said, take what's best for you and go from there, but definitely start out with dispatch.
Okay, you threw out some .coms. You said Freightways.
I'll drop them in, Kia, can you drop them in the comments for me, please?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then how do I join the group? Ladies of, is it Ladies of Logistics?
I'm gonna drop the link in there as well. So it'll be in the comment section shortly.
Thank you.
Mhm. All right. Let's see. Let's see. I was told about your mentoring program. How do you join or obtain more information about your program? Carol Shabazz, welcome. Thank you for being here tonight. So my program, everything about my classes and everything about my my mentoring is online. You just have to determine what works best for you. I have in-person classes, in-person mentoring if you're in Atlanta, as well as Zoom mentoring, as well as small groups. There's all different types. So you just have to go online to my site and figure out which one works best for you. If you have any questions, let me know or shoot me an email. My assistant will be more than happy to get with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there dedicated hotshot dispatchers, Catherine? Yeah. There's a lot of people that just do hotshots for dispatch. You got in dispatching, you got to find your niche. That's how these box trucks just ended up in my, you got to find your niche. You're not going to be able to be like, oh, we dispatch for whatever. Because it's just not that easy just to determine that you're going to dispatch for every single vehicle out there. But find your niche. If you want to be a dedicated hotshot dispatcher, be a dedicated hotshot dispatcher. You make good money that way. Same thing with this, dry vans or whatever it is that you decide, whether it's heavy hauling, whatever niche it is that's going to work for you, figure out what trucks you want to dispatch for and go for it. And, make that your niche and make it your point to know everything about that vehicle, everything about those particular vehicles so that you can master dispatching for those vehicles. Can I tell you how many emails I get daily? Can I send these box trucks over to you? Send them. Y'all know y'all scared of box trucks. I don't know why. Stop being so scared of box trucks. D, where you at?
I'm here.
D. How you doing, Miss D?
I'm good. How are you?
When did you take my class, Miss D?
28th of May.
28th of May. She took an in-person class in South Carolina. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you doing now, Miss D?
Dispatching box trucks.
All day.
All
Is it
day.
easy?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Are the loads there?
They are.
Do you get more than $2 a mile?
Most days.
Do you get $3 a mile?
I have.
So it's possible. Y'all be shying away from these box trucks and sending them over to me. That's fine. Line my pockets. I don't mind. But at the same time, you're doing yourself a disservice. You got to learn a different vehicle. Sam will tell you, there's not that many drive vans that's looking online saying, hey, dispatch me.
Mm-hmm.
It don't work that way. I wish it did, but it don't work that way. You're not going to, be luck up to get drive vans all the time. So if you start shying away from the vehicles that, oh, it's too hard. I've been here 3 hours. I haven't found a load yet. You've been looking for a load all day. Ain't found one yet. But it is what it is. You have that communication with your driver. You let them know I'm still here. We still looking. We in this together. We starting over tomorrow. You just can't shy away from these vehicles. These box trucks are not going anywhere right now. I give it to a good, February, March, it's going to start dwindling. Right now, box trucks is oversaturating the market because everybody done got their little PPP money and box trucks is cheap and they can go buy one. Right now, box trucks are not cheap because they realize that everybody wants a box truck and they're selling them like crazy. So these box truck carriers, we're signing box truck. I do authorities for box truck carries at least 6 to 7 a week. So they're not going anywhere. So you can continue turning them down and get emailing to me, or you can just take a little bit more time and learn it. It's not hard. It's no different from a drive van. The only difference is a drive van is 53 feet, a box truck is 26 feet. You may get on the phone and call 2 or 3 times to get a load for a drive in. You may get on the phone and call 10 times for a load with a box truck. But at the end of the day, you're going to make the money. You get 4 or 5 box trucks that you're dispatching for, you're making $900, $1,000 on a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm. You can. You just have to get up out of your bed early.
Yeah. Yep. Get up early. If you're waking up 10 o'clock in the morning and saying, we'll
you gotta get up early.
Now, girl, you might as well just wait till tomorrow because you late. You was late for work. 5 6:30, 6 o'clock, they saying good morning to me in Slack. Because they know you can't, it's not 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. You got to be up early.
Yeah.
This is a customer service position. You got to take it serious. These carriers are sitting there waiting for the person that they have hired to find them a load. Okay. All right. Whew. That was a lot. Next question. Thank you, Dee. Let's see.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. I am in the process of getting the master broker course. Anything particular I need to know? I do not want to mess up your name, but your middle name is Allen. I want to, is it Shadia?
Try.
Huh?
Try.
Is it Shadia? Oh, I'm sorry.
Shida.
Shia. Y'all was gonna say that. Shia. It's a D in there.
No, Shida.
Oh, Shida.
Yes.
Yeah, Shida. That's a Sam question. How you doing, Miss Shida? So when you say
great. I just want to say I am so grateful for this because I've been interested in the trucking industry for years and years and years. And they never had like blueprints or people that help you to get, to know how to build the business. And like I say, it's like a dream of mine. So I haven't created my own business already named, but of course I don't have it. So, but the name I created is a name, Unstoppable Logistics. And I'm like, I cannot get into the logistics field, like where nobody's helping. So I am very grateful for the latest logistics, the good energy, all of it.
Absolutely. We're happy to do it. We're happy to do it.
Yes.
So your question was, you are in the master broker course. Are you talking about the freight broker portal?
Yeah, so because like I said, I've been interested into the trucking, but of course you got to take steps. So I was thinking about doing the master course for the broker. I'm already in supply chain. I've been doing supply chain for a while. I even tried to do my CDL, like just not to drive, but just to know about the trucking. So I was taking my permit. Actually, I've kind of got to repeat one part of the test, but I'm getting my permit in the CDL just so I could know about the trucking part.
Okay. All right. Sam, freight broker portal.
Yeah, so that, you know what? Okay, so kudos to the CDL because I'm actually working on my CDL right now as well. Like you said, not to drive, just to have it.
Yes.
So one thing I can say, when I started in this industry many years ago, I'm like you, I didn't have social media. I didn't have an educational platform to reference back to. So when I tell people I'm self-taught, of course, like I said, we had a couple people like along the way, but when I say I'm self-taught, I'm like, I didn't have what we're basically trying to give other people. So when me and Tristan basically put this course together, I mean, we literally took it from where I tell people, you don't even have to know what a freight broker is when you take my course. Like, that's how like detailed it is. When we say we break down, we even help you like with your business credit. Because when you go get your bond, it is based on your personal credit. So we try to help you like in that, in that way. We help you with your business credit, personal credit. But like I said, you don't have to know what a freight broker is when you take our course. We map everything out for you, from the daily duties to how to build rates for your customer, how to dispatch your loads, like different niches that you can actually get into. I think kind of Tawana kind of touch base on this as well. Even with a broker, you want to have that specific niche. You don't want to have multiple shippers that specialize in different things until you master one. Like right now, I told you my niche is refrigerated freight, only because on my carrier side, I have refrigerated trailers. So of course, all my shippers are the same. So, I mean, but when I say we map it all out for you, and like I said, just coming into the master class, we've had, I mean, like you said, if you're in the Leading Ladies of Logistics group, I mean, you will see a lot of our students there. But I mean, people are doing great things with their freight brokerage. We get a lot of great reviews where they're just like, our information is so broken down and so detailed. Like your downloadable PDFs. We do videos explaining things. But like I said, I basically did the course in basically recreating it for someone like myself. If I had just came into the industry, like what kind of training would I need, right? So like I said, I promise we break it all down for you. We really do.
Okay. And you have a group, because I am following you on Instagram, but I'm not in the group. So you have a Facebook group, you said?
Yes, it's called the Leading Ladies of Logistics. It's a free group for ladies. And you can go in there, you know, and like I said, you know, it's more like you can go in there and ask questions, network with other women in there who have their CDLs, who's dispatchers, who's brokers. Like I said, some of our students are in there. So so you can ask questions, but that's a great Facebook group as well, a resource. The network.
Awesome. I'm planning to get the course around this week now. So that's why I wanted to make sure that I need to know anything else other than if I wanted to get into the broker.
Everything you need is going to be in that course.
Absolutely. Great. Honestly, you getting your LLC is awesome because now you don't have to wait for that. Like even when you do the application to get your freight broker authority, we even break that down for you and actually show you some of the screens to kind of assist you with those questions. So now that you have your LLC, you can actually apply for your authority like in real time, as soon as you take like
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I have it for a minute. Okay.
Yep. So you are ready.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right. So my team and I get this question a lot. And again, I don't want to mess up this name, but I want to say Andrika Cooper. I messed it up. Not Andrika.
It's fine. Yeah, that's correct.
Yes. All right, Ms. Cooper. Is it possible to be a part-time dispatcher? This is not a nighttime, evenings, and weekends position. Dispatching is life. So explain, when you say part-time, talk to me. So like what's your schedule?
Yeah, I work like a rotating shift. So I have like days off, but it varies from week to week.
Okay. Yeah, so that'd be a little difficult because if you have days off, that means days you work at night and you sleep during the daytime?
It depends, it rotates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who we got? Is Sham, Roberta, PJ?
I'm here.
Roberta, answer that question, please.
As far as the day, so she's working night shifts and swing shifts possibly. My suggestion is going to be tough. Usually what I usually do with onboarding with new dispatchers, I explain to them, you have to take in consideration, whereas then you have a trucking company, which is this is their resource of the way of revenue that they provide for their family. And we literally get up at 6:30 in the morning, and we could sit on that load board from 7:30 in the morning all the way up until 5 or 6 in the evening and not find a load. And like I tell people, everybody thinks I try to be funny, but honestly speaking, I travel around with my laptop throughout my house just so that I won't miss a load, especially for the box trucks. And so with it being done, it's not like you could just book a load first thing in the morning, like boom, okay, there's a load on the load board, I'm done for the day. It's no telling when that broker is going to post that load on the load board. It's no telling if that load is going to actually fit for your truck without you calling and using your resources to find that load for that particular carrier. So usually when it comes down to anybody with a job, we usually tell you full time, it's a no-go.
Yeah, it's very difficult because it's not just booking loads and it's not just dealing with your carrier. You got to deal with that broker when he calls 50 times asking you, where's that truck? You have to deal with the driver calling you, 5 hours into the load. Hey, I'm trying to get to the shipper. I can't find the address. Or, hey, my truck broke down. Can you find me, can you find me some roadside assistance or whatever the case may be? So it's not just, I've dispatched the load, the driver's going to pick up the load, I'm done for the day. It doesn't work like that. You need to know what that load is from point A to point B. You need to follow that load. If the shipper calls you at 1 o'clock in the morning, where's my load? The broker calls you, tracking's down on the truck. Well, why can't I find my load? You got to be available. You got to be available. So it's really difficult to say that you can do it part-time because it really is life. It really is life. And even if you did it in the morning, you got to have somebody that's going to pick up the slack for you in the evening, someone who's going to check on your courier, see how they're doing, do those tracking and things like that. That courier is going to you know, if he's not on the low, no reason he should be calling you after 6 o'clock. But if he's on the low, then you're on the low. Okay. Does that answer your question?
It definitely does. Thank you.
Good. All right. Let's see. My background is supply chain. Okay. I think I answered the question. How do you feel about charging a flat? How do you feel about charging a flat rate or a percentage? I'm stuck in between. Some people have said I'd be cheating myself by charging a flat rate. I agree. Miss, what is it, Kayla? I can't see the whole
Yes,
name.
how are you?
I'm doing great, Miss Black Box. Can't see your face. How you doing?
I'm sorry, I'm at work, but I had to be tuned in.
No problem. I agree. You're doing yourself a disservice. If you think about it this way, you charge a flat rate of $250 a week. Okay, no matter what, they got to pay you $250 a week. Friday, you get your $250. But on the flip side, let's say you dispatch and you charge 10%. On Friday, that courier has made $9,000. So you're getting 10% of the 9,000, which is 900, or you're gonna get your flat rate of $250 a week.
Right, that makes sense.
And then me thinking about it, me dispatching the work that we do for $250 a week. No, ma'am.
Right.
No, ma'am. Okay. I mean, it's a personal preference. A lot of people go toward the flat rate because they figure, you know what, this is the way for me to generate that income. So
yeah, that's what I was
thinking. To pay you for loads that you have not found. Or how long is a courier going to continue to pay for you for loads? You know, maybe it's a bad week and you only booked one load for them that week and it was $500 and now they owe you $250 of it. So it's a personal preference. It's a no for me.
Do you feel like your rate goes up as like, so some people may start off with 5% and then go up gradually as they get better, but how do you feel like you should start off, like as far as throwing your price out there, well, your percentage? You have to price your value.
One thing about dispatches is people are going to pay for value. There are a lot of dispatches out there that charge 3%, 4%, 5%. I will never, ever, I don't care what truck it is, you know, because I feel like my dispatches are more valuable. So it's going to be a no for us. But you have to understand, you can't take a class on Monday, put your information out there the following Monday and say, I charge 10%. Because what value are you bringing? You know, you have to be some type of value. One thing about a driver, they don't mind paying a dispatcher, but what value are you bringing to that client? Are you finding him loads? Are you communicating with him? Are you, you know, assisting him, you know, when he needs to? Can he always get in contact with you? You have to be able to provide some value. There's no problem at all with setting your rate and then in your contract letting them know after 90 days it increases to so and so. But in those 90 days, they're going to be looking at you like, okay, if she's going to be increasing from 5% to 8%, I don't mind paying the 8% if I know she's provided me some type of value. Understand what I'm saying? So it's no problem. You know, we've increased our rates and still have the couriers are still here because it has to be based on what it is that you're providing. If you're giving them what they need, you're providing that tool for them that, you know, they're able to just be on the road and just drive, then they'll pay your extra percentage. But be sure you're putting it in your be transparent about it. You just can't send them an email on Monday and say, hey guys, just let you know my rates increased from 5% to 10%. You know, so put it in your contract, letting them know, hey, you know, I start off at this, then we're going to go to this, and so on and so forth. Okay. But be sure your percentage is matching what you're offering.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
All right, we got a few more. Let's see. I'm sorry, so many questions. How do you pay another dispatcher that comes onto your team? You know, that's something that you have to figure out as far as, you know, your rates and your percentages. You know, just keep in mind, for me personally, my team is my company. Because I don't dispatch. So my team is my company. So, you know, me personally, you know, I pay out again based on value. You know, if you're coming in fresh off the street, fresh from a class, we may start at a lower percentage, but you know, with that value that you're adding or with your education that you're providing, then we increase the percentages. So you just have to determine, you know, what's going to work best for you, what all they're doing. You know, I have my leads on my team, then I have my other dispatchers. Okay. But yeah, just determine, whatever it is, like if it's 10%, you're gonna give her half and then the company takes half.
Right.
And then what are you providing? Are they using your load boards? Do they have to bring their own load boards? You have a TMS system, just calculate, what it is that you're providing to them, what service they're gonna provide, and then just kind of figure it out from there.
That makes sense. I guess I was just along those lines where you said like half, because I know for me, I actually took a lot of what I'm doing with my company from you. I saw you on Good Energy on one of Alex's workshops, and I was nervous about the whole box truck industry. We were coming in and was going to get a semi, and then it was like, to get a box truck, you can get in easier with not having a CDL. So we went that route. And now I'm like, oh my God, box trucks, because Alex kept, he doesn't really promote box trucks because that wasn't his niche. But then you came on and that was your niche and you was promoting. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. Girl, I booked my first 3 loads last week. So I was like, okay, I could do this. It wasn't too bad, and they were decent rates. So now it's like I want to build on and get some more trucks under my belt. And I have a cousin. I want to put her in place to provide as well. But it was just like, I just thought in my mindset is if she takes 2 trucks, say I have 5 and she takes 2, I have 3, I would let her do, 7% and I take the 3. Like, I just thought something like that would, make sense. But I never want to have someone work on me and they feel as though they're not getting their due just. So that's why I was like, is it like a standard?
And it definitely has to be a conversation. It may change a couple of months down the line. Like, I feel like I should be paying you more. Just keep in mind, if you're going to be paying, I pay $1,500 a month in load boards. So that has to be paid somehow.
Right.
Of course, my dispatchers are out there doing all the work, but I try to provide as many tools as I possibly can. So it has to be
right.
But at the end of the day, they're the ones out there doing footwork, phone calls, and all that type of stuff. So you just have to, weigh it, and again, make sure that it's something that you guys can keep as an open discussion. I allow my dispatchers to come to me and say, "Hey, I've been doing A, B, and C, and D. You think I can? Yeah, let's talk about it." But if you just sitting there and you ain't putting no loads and you just there,
ain't gonna work, right?
Ain't gonna work.
I'll see you in Atlanta.
Yes.
Yes, I'll see you in Atlanta.
Good job.
Thank you.
Let's see, let's get another. My sister and I are interested in starting a freight brokerage business without any prior experience. However, based on your previous answer, is it your suggestion we start out as dispatchers? I gave my answer. I'm gonna let Sam come in and give her opinion on that one.
Yeah, I agree. So Tawana was saying that, to start off in the transportation, you should definitely start off as a dispatcher. I totally agree. I mean, there's low startup costs. You can really learn the industry, like the lingo, just really understanding how the transportation works without having as much risk, right? So when you actually start off as a dispatcher, like the carrier is your customer. You work directly with the carrier. If there's issues, you help resolve it. But if you come in as a freight broker, you're going to have to pay a bond. Like you said, you're going after the load boards, and you're actually going after the shipper to get the loads. And if you don't have loads from a shipper, then you don't make any money. But the shipper is your customer when you're a broker. And then if you're a dispatcher, the carrier is your customer. And I feel like it's just a little bit more, I hate to say less risk, but more like it's more the carrier who holds, like the insurance, who has the equipment, who has more of the cost. You're just charging them a percentage to move those loads. But as a broker, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Say something. Okay. But then as a broker, I mean, somebody could be, trying to file your claim. I mean, a claim against your bond, then like I said, you actually have to, sort all that information out with the shipper. So I always tell people, I think dispatching is, again, I'm not going to say it's easier, but I feel like it's more of a low startup cost, and it's low, like I said, like a lower risk, right? Because if you're only working with the shipper and the carrier, and the carrier has those issues, then it's the carrier's insurance, not your insurance, right? So I definitely think a dispatcher. Honestly, like I told you guys before, if I would have got into this industry, being able to have a platform like we have, or just even a mentor, and I would have known what I know now, I would have started off as a dispatcher and then worked my way up. But I jumped right into the trucking, and I jumped right into the brokerage. We do dispatching like here and there now, and then I always tell people, I mean, I'm a dispatcher to my own trucks, but we jumped in so heavily with those trucks. I was like, I felt like I was like, drowning, right? I'm like, I had to learn everything the hard way instead of gradually kind of seeing what carriers go through as a dispatcher. Because you are, I mean, you kind of see it, you know, you may see their insurance lapse. You may see, you know, their hours of service violations. You know, you kind of understand more of that when you're on the dispatcher versus just jumping in right away and having to like force yourself to understand it. Like I said, kind of the hard way. We were put out of service and everything, unfortunately, not really understanding the industry.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Very, very welcome. Very welcome. Great question. Great question. All right, Mr. Michael Thomas, you have 1,000,001 questions. We're gonna wrap it up with you, and then we're gonna do our final words. We are not gonna answer all these questions, Mr. Thomas, but we're gonna, if you still on here,
Actually, I'm on here for him. He did a lot of questions in regards to me taking that course.
Which
but
course?
I'm gonna answer all of them because I sat here and listened to majority of them and you answered a lot of them. But I plan on taking your course this weekend, and he basically want to know what information would I get out of it to dispatch, because he has a hot shot business and I'm trying to dispatch for him and others.
So he basically wants to know what information you're going to get from my course. Yes. Anybody on here is taking my course? Somebody unmute. Talk to me.
I have.
Tawana.
I have.
All right, Miss Duncan.
Yes.
How was my class?
It was great. I started with Tristan as a mentee. She took me under her wing, and I needed a dispatching class first to start off because I just came into the broker and I didn't kind of understand the dispatching part. And when I came in your course, after I took your course, I've been running head on.
Yeah.
I got three shippers. I got not three shippers, but three carriers, and I got one shipper. So your course made me understand the hustle. Like I have to get up. If I don't get up, I'm missing money. And so understand the business. Like you have to understand your trucks, and you have to understand your drivers too. So going after these drivers, like I go to where the drivers go to, and my dad's a driver, so I drove for 10 years for UPS. So it's like I had to like understand my drivers. Now that I understand the drivers, I can understand the shippers.
Absolutely.
So your course made me understand the process. I had to slow down.
Yes.
I had to really think about some stuff.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
You're very blunt. You were blunt about the whole situation.
Yes.
So sitting in your course, you wasn't lacking of nothing. You're very blunt, and that's what I like about you and Tristan. Y'all not and Sam. Y'all don't sugarcoat nothing.
Right.
It's like you really here to help us, not hurt us.
Right.
And Roberta too, she on here too. That's my mentee too. She be helping me.
Yes, I love it.
DJ, all y'all, I love all y'all.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Natasha.
Yes, ma'am.
How was my class?
Yes, ma'am. Your class was awesome. It was super thorough, and like one of the ladies said, like you're just there, and you made me feel comfortable to ask questions if I wasn't sure. You're always available even after the class, and
well, don't tell people that. No, just playing.
I love it. Like I love it. I appreciated it. I understood it. You know, like I said, I was comfortable, so I got it down, and I got to get up. and my leads, Roberta, helpful, Miss D, been helpful. So I
have the best team ever.
Huh?
I have the best team ever. Like, you know, we're hiring dispatchers now, but I promise you, you know, we want to teach you and we want to give you the information, but you gotta work. Like, we're not here to babysit, we're not here to hold nobody's hand. At the end of the day, the name of the game is independent dispatchers. So, if you go to someone's 9-to-5 dispatcher, no one's going to be sitting there telling you what to do. You got to be independent in this game. You got to be able to do some research and go that extra mile. And if you're willing to do that, then, we have the space for you. If you feel like it's not for you and box trucks is not your thing and you want the easy trucks, then this is not for you. You're not going to come in and be like, oh no, I don't want to do that. I want to dispatch for the drive-ins. Because PJ will remove you from the group. Like she does that like ASAP. So, but I appreciate you guys. I really do. A lot of my team is on this call.
Don't be afraid to speak up and ask questions, and nothing is too embarrassing to ask because you're new. Most of us coming in, and you're gonna have those pitfalls. So don't be afraid to ask to help, to get the necessary help in order to elevate yourself. And like you said, study, take notes and just ask questions.
Good deal.
I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Good deal. Thank you so much. So we're gonna get some final remarks. I want to say, Sam, can you get some final remarks, some advice, and close up this call?
Sure can. Well, first off, I want to say thanks for having me. This was awesome. But one thing that I always tell people is I always stress to people like, your path is your path. Don't be discouraged. And I always say don't be discouraged because like you may come in and I promise every situation just may be a headache. You may go through every single hurdle. Like, well, how do somebody else's, path is so smooth? It's like, just know, like I say, your path is your path for a reason. I feel like that. Like, I feel like every time I look up, like we just had a load right before vacation. We were like, all our trucks were like on a long haul, which means, that we sent them all the way to the West Coast. Swear to goodness, we picked up the load and dropped it off and they refused the load and made my truck take it all the way back. So I lost hours, in my vacation when I thought everything was going smooth. But you know what? I just took a deep breath. I'm like, this is transportation. You have no control over transportation. No control. You just have to know that you have to take every situation just with, just be calm, collected, and then just know, like, you know what? Let me just get through this. Let me, just basically like learn from experience. How, what can I do, for the next time, or something like that. So I just tell people, like I said, just know like every day is going to be a different, it's something different. Every day could be a different situation and it's all good. And then I think the last lady said, don't be afraid to ask questions. I told you before, I mean, now I do, of course, but when I first started, I didn't have nobody to ask questions. We, like I said, our stuff was like a lot of trial by error. So you may be able to ask questions that somebody never, even experienced before and can, basically assist you. So, but just good luck in the transportation industry. I tell people all the time, I mean, this is my passion. I love it. Honestly, I wouldn't want to do anything else, but I said, just good luck to everyone who is, in this industry or wants to get into the industry.
Absolutely. And Sam, I thank you so very much. I know you are over there in fun land. So we're going to let you get to it. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here for everyone, and enjoy your vacation.
I will. You know what? You actually gave me a reason to rest my feet. They are wearing me out. This is only day one. We have 6 more days left. I am tired. Oh, this is bad.
Oh, well, you got 6 more days. Yeah, go ahead, rest your feet now because
I know
you got a long way to go. But thank you so much.
A long way to go.
We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Just to give you guys some final marks, so we can go ahead and close up this call. Just to piggyback on Sam, I get a lot of people that ask questions: how much can I make dispatching? How much can I make with my truck? All of those questions are totally different from every single person. When you're dispatching, what you do on that day is how you're going to get paid. Once you set your goal, if you set your goal, I want to make $1,000 this week. I want to make $500 this week. Whatever it is you set your goal at, it's your work that you're going to put into in order to reach that goal. No one else's but you. Your communication with your drivers, you getting up in the morning, you dedicating yourself to this craft. If this is not the craft you want to dedicate yourself to, if this is not the business for you, then you come into the business doing it all wrong. And you're doing a disservice to every single person that's on this call that really, really, really works hard to be in this business. But if it's something that you want to do and you feel like this is for you, then you put the time in, you put the education in, and you do what it takes so that you can get where you need to be. I got Sham on this call. Sham quit her corporate America job. She continues to work with Gold Star, as well as she just got her own truck about a month ago. And she's doing bomb ass in all three. You know, Roberta, same way, left her corporate America job working for the government to stay and work with Gold Star. Jakia, PJ, Sierra, D, I mean, they're literally up doing what they need to do every single day to learn the craft and master it and continue to do this. I quit, everybody knows my story. I quit my corporate America. My mama thought I was crazy. I quit my corporate America job because I figured this is what I wanted to do. And there was no going back. So if it's something that you want to do, you put in the time. People say it all the time. If you want to do it, they'll find a way to do it. So you have to find a way to do it. And you're not going to find a way to do it at 10 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock. We up early. And when you want a load boy trying to figure out what happened to the load, we got them. Because y'all was asleep. Okay? So I promise you, you know, figure out where you want to be in transportation. Follow the right people. Don't just follow people because they got a million followers. Don't just follow people because your friend told you to. Follow who works for you. Follow who's giving you the information. Follow who's giving you the right information. But, you know, stay involved in what's going on in transportation and whatever route you decide to take. I wish you all the very, very best of luck. I look forward to seeing you guys in my class, seeing you guys, Leading Ladies of Logistics, in November 4th through the 6th. Be there. We also have an event in Atlanta on September 24th. But if anything, just join the group. If you're not in the Leading Ladies of Logistics Facebook group, you're also doing yourself a disservice. Free gems dropped in there daily. But again, you gotta put in something. You gotta do something. It's not gonna fall in your lap. I promise you, it's not gonna fall in your lap. You know, stop trying to figure out what everybody else is doing and choose your path and work your path. And I promise you, you get
exactly.
It's not about how everyone else is doing it. It's about how you're gonna do it and what it's gonna take for you to get there. Because each one of your paths is totally different. How I got there is different. How you're gonna get there is totally. How Sam got there is different. How Tristan got there is different. Everybody's path is totally different. So stop looking at, you know, Instagram. Instagram ain't real life. You know, stop looking at what's
called Instaland.
Yeah, Instaland. And
that's what I'm. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
See, that's the thing. But nobody's putting the headaches on Instagram. Nobody's like, I didn't put the watermelon load on there. I didn't tell you guys that my driver don't waste it. I mean, don't get paid us to come back. But at the same time, I had another load lined up for him to, you know, go out in California. I'm not posting that kind of stuff. I'm posting good things. That's why I said, like, my path may not be your path, and that's okay. But guess what? But that path that I went through has helped me get, you know, become more experienced into where I'm at today. Sorry, just want to cut you off, but you was preaching, girl. I had to add on that.
Yeah, that was good. We've all been there. I don't know if Tristan's still on here, but Tristan's had her failures. We've all been there. So, you know, we post some good stuff, we post some bad stuff, but at the end of the day, it's not the easiest path in the universe. Stop letting people tell you that transportation is easy. It's not easy, but it's worth it. If you put in the work, I promise you it's worth it. But we're not going to hold you. I definitely appreciate you guys for being here. I hope these calls are informative. We're going to continue to do them, you know, because like I said, it's a part of me trying to give back to you guys. And just, you know, I don't want, you know, all the time we see, you know, course, buy this, buy that, buy that. But this is my hour to give back to you, to answer your questions, to try to make anything as transparent as we possibly can. And I hope it was helpful. So you guys enjoy your evening. Thank you so much for being here. And we look forward to seeing you guys soon. Much success to you all.
Thank you, ladies. Appreciate you.
And appreciate you, Dee. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Good night.